The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 387 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. Yeah, we keep on moving, right? We're going to call this one Finally, as there's a lot of things that went down in the last week. We finally saw a goal from Olivier Giroud in league play. We finally got an update regarding Dolo and where his head's at right now as he has one foot out of the door. And we finally addressed our very, very limited midfield. Yeah, stuff is happening, guys. And it's still happening. We don't know what's going to happen next. We just know that there's finally some activity, not just on the field, but off the field as well. Does it create more questions? Definitely, but at least there's something to talk about outside of the football side of things. Of course, to make it happen, to break it all down, we've got the full crew here with us today. We've got Bam, we've got Araceli, and we've got Tony. You see them all there dialed in. I'm going to go to you, Araceli, first. I know you're beyond busy. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing well. I'm trying to think to even where to begin because it's been 2 weeks and so much has happened from celebrating my birthday in New York to recovering from seasonal allergies. Just more or less right now, mentally preparing myself for another busy soccer-filled weekend with MLS and Next Pro. But otherwise, I'm just glad to be back with y'all.
We're happy to have you back. And again, proud of all the work that you're putting in because, dude, you're doing a great job. No doubt about it. Of course, Bam is here. Tony's here. Tony, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. Very mixed feelings for this past weekend of new blood, old blood leaving, weird game, someone trying to steal a spotlight, just all weirdness.
All over the place, no doubt, all over the place. So we'll cover it. We will definitely cover it. Of course, there's Bam as well, the man who's on call doing his thing. We'll hopefully get him for the whole episode. But yeah, you got stuff going on, right, sir?
Yeah, so today is actually a public holiday here in Australia. It is Anzac Day, so the day that we remember all the fallen soldiers during the massive wars that we had over the years. With being a public holiday, someone has to go on call at work, and I end up putting my hand up to do it because other guys got other stuff on. So with an inch of rain we're meant to be getting, looking at the rain radar, looks like it's about to hit soon. So hopefully my phone doesn't call and people say we're flooding, but we'll see what happens over the next hour and a bit of this podcast.
There we go. So again, things are up in the air. We get it. We do. Holidays, man. The guys got to step up. Hopefully, though, we get them all episode. All right. Let's get right into it. We've got news, lots of news. And yes, we're going to talk about the Portland match, but let's talk about the news of the day. We've got 2 new signings. We have Dolo calling it, at least at the end of the year. Let's talk about the players first, of course, because that's who's going to be with us and who we needed to break in because, dude, we have a thin midfield right now. And only one decent sub like Odin can't hold it all down. So who do we get? Well, we got Frankie Amaya from Toluca on loan, former standout for FC Cincinnati and New York Red Bulls. Now we have him here. Doesn't score a lot of goals, but he does all those other hard things in the midfield, right? And that's something we need right now. Somebody that can step in, will not be a liability, will actually be an asset, can be very consistent in his play. Yeah, this one's a good one for us. Again, is he going to be a game changer? No, he's going to be more of a role player type for us, but somebody that can get the job done. And at the end of the day, that's what you need in busy schedules where we're at right now. Of course, we did get one other player. That would be Ryan Raposo, coming from Vancouver. I believe he was free agent at the moment, but he's played for them for a very long time, drafted through them as well. Again, some highs, some lows in his play. He has been promising. He's a Canadian international. We'll see how it works out with him. I think with him, it's more of a gamble and more of a fill the spot kind of thing where he is coming in definitely to be cover for the rest of the crew. Not looking to probably break into the starting lineup, but at times we'll need to as the schedule just remains busy because this is LAFC. It's what we do. So that is what's going on. I go to you, Bam. What are your thoughts on these signings?
Look, with Ryan Raposo, obviously with him coming from Vancouver before they let him go, we've seen him quite a lot. To me, he always played fairly good against us. So let's see how he goes with us. I'm looking forward to see the first game against Vancouver with him on our team.
Yeah, I think he scored. Well, he got an assist the last time he played against us, and yeah, hurt us pretty good in that game. But yeah, he does have history, that's for sure. Frankie Amaya, Tony, what are your thoughts on Frankie?
Seems like it's a good addition to the team again. At this point, we just need some like Pep and hopefully age as well. But again, drafted first overall in 2019, playing with Toluca, so he has some international, we can say, because again, I always consider Mexico not an international, but I always forget it is. But some international play and with more aggressiveness out there, so it should work over here. But it's again good signing for lack thereof for the past couple months or holes that we needed to fill in. So it's great that we're trying to fill in holes, but we'll see what again when the summer window opens. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and and a local kid as well from Santa Ana, so it's a bit of a homecoming for Frankie Amaya, which is good news. It's really good news. Araceli, I know you've watched him develop. You've watched him come up. He's a first-round draft pick. You excited about this move?
Oh, definitely. When it comes to Frankie, I am very curious to see how he fit into the LAFC system because, as you pointed out, I think he's more well known as being that first round draft pick for Cincinnati. And in terms of how he's developed over the years, I honestly couldn't really speak to that. But looking at that, both of them as a whole, I do see them being used more as fillers, especially when Leagues Cups start, or they can be used as trading pieces for ongoing negotiations. I hate to think of it in that sense, but I mean, this is just how it is. And looking at Ryan Raposo, it says here, while he was with Vancouver, he registered 5 goals, 8 assists, and looking at the comments, he didn't seem to be a consistent starter. So I see him possibly playing that super sub role if they don't knock him down to LAFC 2 to bring someone up to the first team.
Right, to keep them consistent, keep them working, and of course he has experience, so it's going to help with the younger guys. Totally get that. Of course, another loan with Frankie. We have a lot of those lately, right? Got to do what you got to do with the budget. So we'll see how it turns out for these guys. Like I said, we know who our starters are. These guys are kind of going to be on the periphery here. So here we go. Good luck to them. We've got their backs here. That's for sure. We just hope for the best. Of course, the other news, the big news, was Dolo, and his announcement that he'd be calling it with us at the end of the season. Kind of an early time to make an announcement like that, but it was done. It was said. He's heading to Germany at the end of the year. What's he going to do there? We don't know yet. We can only assume things with his old club. He's going to take some action there. But yeah, he is calling it. I know there was a lot of calls for him to leave right away. Well, this is, again, 1 foot out the door. Does that mean that he's going to actually finish the year here? I don't think that's a promise. Definitely not. If we don't get the results we need, if things aren't working, if this actually backfires after this announcement, it could be a lot sooner. If they bomb out of this so-called playoff that might be happening in Club America, if they bomb out of Leagues Cup, we're barely surviving, barely being a 500 side, you could see a move happening, right? Earlier than expected. But what we do know is that there is an end. That is an official. That is not going to change. I go to you, Tony. I know you're waiting for me to call you on this one. Thoughts on that?
On Dolo leaving?
Yeah.
Leaving, just everything is just more of a. We've been asking for him. He's just not been the greatest this season, and the last couple ones again. I know I would say he's keeping the job till the end of the season because of the U.S. Open Cup, but again, we need some new blood. We need something to change, and that is the right move to change. I don't know if the announcement was in the right time. Maybe could have had that behind the scenes so people were looking. So I'm kind of scared that the team's going to give up on him and not listen and just play for stats for the next coach and see, oh, this is who we have and look at the statistics and everything like that. So it's really well again. There's some other things that have come up that I'm like, maybe it's because of this, but it's something more I would talk on one-on-one probably with anyone if they want to hear that conversation.
Interesting. Bam.
Being this early in the season, it was interesting for it to be made public in my eyes. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen behind the scenes on the next coach we're going to get. Are we going to look at the LFC 2 coach? Are we going to look at an international coach, a big name coach, or are we going to try and look more locally, or even bring up one of the assistants? So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few months and what we do. Also be interesting to see when he does leave, who leaves with him, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, now I know a lot of technical training staff that we have would probably be going with him. The behind the scenes crew, sometimes you see him warming the boys up. There are a lot of his guys, which would be a big shakeup, let's be honest. So that could be something too. What this does is it does give John Thorrington, again, a little bit of breathing room because, where all of our heads are at right now is not happy. It gives him a little bit of an opening, right? To say, well, the hunt is on. We're looking for a new coach starting today while this current coach is here. There's not that odd pressure of, yeah, we're hunting. Here's your vote of no confidence. Well, we're hunting. And what are your thoughts? So you start to wonder, is Dolo a part of that conversation too, as well? Who's my heir apparent? Will be a little strange, but I wouldn't put it past this crew, right? As tight as they seem to be, that he's also a part of that process as well. I know. Of course, Araceli, it's an interesting move, right? Have you ever heard of anything like this before in MLS outside of, say, a national team job?
Man, I'm still in shock that Sporting actually got rid of Vermees, okay? Because that was a day over here. I'll say that. But I mean, in terms of like Dola leaving, it's nothing really new per se. But like how Bam said, it is a little surprising that they would announce it this early in the season. So I'm on the same boat with you guys that I am curious to see how the players respond to it as the season plays out, whether they're gonna play better or play worse. Hopefully, it's not the latter, of course. But I in terms of who could be the new coach, it's really up in the air. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard all the rumors like I have, with calls for Jose Martino or even Jurgen Klopp, but who knows?
Yeah, I know. Sky's the limit with people's imagination. That's for sure. Again, this is MLS, everybody. Right? Take a breather, take 2 breaths, and realize this is still MLS. Those coaches, rarity to see them come this way. And my experience in MLS, when you bring in a high-profile coach, it usually doesn't end well. It's different. It's very different. Internal maybe, but we do, like I said, all we know now is that, yes, the players have to perform. Why? A new sheriff will be in town in not a very long time. Everything gets reassessed when you change staff. Nobody's job is safe. And for Dolo at this stage, knowing that there's an exit no matter what happens, and obviously a brighter horizon somewhere else for him, he's not beholden to anybody at this stage. If he wants to bench somebody that he's tired of seeing certain things happening on the field, guess what he's going to do? Because it doesn't really matter. What do they do? Fire you? You're already leaving. He can do whatever he wants out there outside of just getting fired. But then, of course, you know what's happening next. He's moving on already anyway. So he actually gives himself a little bit of freedom in his job, right? Because the end game is already there, right? There's no threat of, well, what am I going to do next year? He knows what he's going to do next year. So pressure off for him, pressure on for the boys, right? Because anything goes at this point. It's on. And then for Thornton, like I said, pressure slightly off, but now you got to go hunt. Not only are you looking for better players, he got the big replacement to make down the line. So should be an interesting time for us. Hopefully some people wake up in this process. We'll see what happens. Yes, ma'am.
Question for you guys: with how the season's been going so far, knowing that he is leaving end of the year, at what stage, if games don't go away, do you just turn around and say, just leave now? I'm putting it, give it to the, say, June 30th. Give it to then, and if we're not pushing for top of the West by then, if we're down near just making the cutoff, I think that's where we got to call it and let him go early. What do you guys think?
I go Tony first. What do you think?
I feel like it's not going to happen. Again, this is MLS. It's very rare for it to leave like that. Do I want that? And just to move on and just have the interim head coach, whoever that may be, which again, we do have the staff for it, would be great. But unfortunately, I think he just, whatever happens moving forward, we're just gonna have to, just deal with it, and hopefully it doesn't backfire, and then we just chalk the season.
What do you think, Araceli? Would they make an early move?
I don't think so, because I feel like the deal is already done. They've already made the announcement. The only way that they can make it any sooner is if he were to completely tank the team, which we obviously don't want to see happen, but it's MLS. It's already happening.
Also, the complications of all of this. If he leaves by choice, the contract simply ends. If you fire him, are you now beholden to the full contract? It's complicated. There's money involved here.
That would be the whole, if he's leaving end of the year anyway, contracts end. So if, say, by June 30th, 1st of July, we're not doing that, like we've tanked our games till then, are we just liable to the end of the season?
I mean, past history with Bob suggests that this organization is going to wait. My thoughts is that they'll ride this through the Leagues Cup. And if we're sub 500 in our record at that stage, right, playing with that 9 seed or whatever you want to call it, the play-in, and that's what we're looking at, I think at that point, there's no way they're going to risk another missed playoff, because that's what happened last time, right? We missed the freaking playoffs on the last day. This club is not going to let that happen. If we're floundering, we've bombed on another tournament, possibly 2 tournaments, because Club World Cup shenanigans. And now we're looking at August, right? Pushing into September, and you're like, you got little to no time. You got a month to figure things out. Are you going to make it? Are you not going to make it? Maybe that's the shakeup right after Leagues Cup. But otherwise, if he's just above 500, we looked halfway decent in that tournament. Didn't win it, but looked halfway decent. They're going to roll with it. So that's my thoughts. I see a couple comments. Let's see where you guys are at before we move into the match coverage as well. It's Dave. Dave's in the mix. Says, let's do this, familia. Love Amaya signing local kid. Says, hope the announcement sparks the lads. So there you are from Dave. Well done, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, new blood. New blood's always a good thing. It adds pressure to a very thin midfield. I mean, it was kind of injuries waiting to happen if you play guys like this. So it's good news. That's for sure. All right, guys, as you continue, definitely throw the comments out there. We love what you have to say. It's always a fun time. Let me see. Let's move on. Let's talk about Portland a bit, guys. Of course, the weekend we played Portland. It was an interesting match, to say the very least. Again, a milestone for one player to the tune of 1. And then everybody else, right? And all the madness that happened on and off the field, and Dola getting a red card in this thing. And yeah, it was entertaining. Now, looking at the lineups, not too surprising, I'd say. We had Lloris back in goal. We had Marlon and Long. We love Marlon. In the back, Hollingshead, Palencia, Delgado, Igor Jesus, Tillman in the midfield, Bouanga, Giroud, and Ordaz in this lineup. Yep, that's right. Giroud back in the starting lineup. Looking at the semi-new look Portland Timbers, of course, they played their classic 4-2-3-1. Pantemis was in goal. Of course, he took Max out for his spot. Miller and Sermon were their center backs. Mosquera and Fori were their outside backs. Ayala and Chara were your defensive midfielders, with Da Costa as the attacking midfielder. Moreno and Anthony were your outside mids, with Mora as the target man. So, yeah, not too surprising with the lineup, to be honest. The heavyweights are here. Portland is back. Of course, then the game has begun. Tony, I'll go to you on these crazy highlights. This was a funky one, wasn't it?
Oh yes, it was. It was anything you can pretty much see happening was happening. Let's just honestly just get to the point. Like not even the first 90 seconds, we have a goal by Bouanga that is called back because of offsides, which is I don't think he's offsides, and I've been watching that over and over. You can say that Ordaz was offsides, but Bouanga offsides, I don't know. And then they called that back. And then not even a couple minutes later, Bouanga again puts it in, called offsides. This one's more a little bit offsides, and then kind of unfortunately gets into a bad area where we got a couple yellow cards in the pretty much 8th minute. We got a penalty, unfortunately, in the box. Mora puts it away, puts us down 1-0, which we should be probably up 2-1 at this moment in time, but it is what it is. And it seemed like we woke up. It didn't like we were playing for something finally. Keyword finally. And it went out on like that, trying to keep multiple shots for us and just trying to get into the back of the net, and wouldn't happen. But unfortunately, in the 42nd minute, Moreno puts it into the back of the net again to give them a 2-0 lead into the second half and leading to the halftime. So unfortunately, we're behind and we can't really do anything about it at the moment. Just we played well, but it didn't seem like we were doing what we needed to do on the field. But the main focus of this whole game, unfortunately, was the referees. The referees always feel like the star of the show for not even for the whole game, mostly the first half, but the whole game.
Yeah, a little main character energy coming from the referee. He seemed to be the one to be the show for most of this and try to assert whatever dominance he thought he could assert. But at the end of the day, all he did was piss off both sides. I mean, there was no happy camper out there. Not anybody was happy with his performance. I thought for sure both managers were going to get sent off before this game was over. They're both losing their minds at how bad he was on the day. And again, to me, it was equally bad. Maybe you could say a little more for the black and gold, but it was just plain bad. Poor control, crazy calls. The card distribution was bizarro. Bam, I'll go to you on this. Outside of the entertainment of the match, I mean, the ref really took away from this thing, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. You could tell that the ref wanted to be involved in everything, wanted to have the cameras on him, wanted people to see him. And yes, you got the World Cup coming up next year. So referees wanted to say, look how good I am, select me to represent at the World Cup. But the way he was going about it was a way that will turn FIFA off selecting him.
Yeah. I mean, the best refs are the ones that you forget about at the end of the day. You don't remember their names, right? I mean, the job is done. You move on. No big deal. Yeah, he made himself a story. Outside of that, I think our highlights for this match would definitely have to be Giroud finally getting on the schneid here. First half, close to injury time. Left-footed. I mean, I don't have memories of him doing this in the past. Like, this is kind of interesting from him. But there he goes, right? Skims the top of the post. Everybody thought Denny was going to take it, and Giroud took it. Credit to him, man. It was a beautiful goal. We need a lot more of them to justify that paycheck. But in that moment, finally, right? Finally, we'll take it. Araceli, how overdue are we for this moment?
Oh, well overdue, because I know we have been criticizing him for a while now. So to finally watch him get that goal, to have that moment, obviously it would have been better if it was a game winner, but hey, at least he got the goal. So that's out of the way.
Yeah, and it woke the guys up. They looked pretty happy about the whole situation. In the second half, it kind of dictated things, right? A little more confidence from the guys, and they keep on going. Of course, the other story would be Bwanga and his step up of the day, right? He was the story. If Bwanga doesn't perform the way he did in this game, we don't get the 3-3. It doesn't happen. It could get really ugly really quick, but he was freaking everywhere, man, and still setting up. Martinez got the goal because Bwanga's hard work. Let's be real about it. We needed that Bwanga back, and I feel for the most part we got the vintage Bwanga for this match, which, hey, let's be honest, when he kicked off the goals for us in his career, it was in Portland too. So he has good memories there. That's for certain. Bam, your thoughts on Bwanga's performance and overall from the boys after surviving this 3-3 crazy show?
Bwanga, he passed the ball, so I was very happy to see that. Just seeing him seem more relaxed out there, I would say. He wasn't so tense. He was a lot more of a team player than he has been in the last few weeks, which, when you're hungry for goals and you're always scoring goals and also you're not scoring goals, you want to break that habit. You want to get that curse off you and get out there and do what you can. All that I can think of is, let's see how we go this weekend coming up, because the way it's been going is, if we fight like this, I think we can get away with the 3 points coming up.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis is going to be for the taking, honestly. If we put the work in, we can get that result. But hey, let's build confidence off this, right? And hopefully Giroud also builds confidence off of this. He needs it. He definitely needs it. But yeah, take a hard draw, move on to the next. That's the critical thing. Now, looking at the standings, because we got a result, we got ourselves back to 500 again. We're only, 4 points out? Somewhere around there. No, 7, right? 7 points out of first at this stage. So a couple games away, but yeah, it's still in the mix. Talking about second place, though, Austin in seconds at 16. Yeah, that's 1 game away. So we're right back in the mix, getting the result that we need. We can catch Portland, who's only 2 ahead of us at the moment. Big swing if we didn't get that result. Big swing. Would have been way behind. So take it, move on. Hopefully the guys are healthy at the end of all this, and we go for St. Louis. I think that's my final assessment. You want anything else to add into this, Tony, before we move on to some LAFC 2 news?
It's just 1 win. Can't be too excited about it.
Draw.
Yes.
Draw. Yeah.
At this point, we count it as a win because it's like, what else are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Because it's like, we finally got Giroud. Now he's up to, it's costing us $1 million maybe 102 for each goal he scores, because he scored 3 goals with his contract. So we're paying $1 million per goal at the moment. Yay. And Bwanga seems to be back in pay, so that's a good thing moving forward. Now, let's see if we can chain some victories together after this, get some confidence, especially we're coming home, especially, again, got to look forward, and we always do this, but there is a big rivalry game coming up next month.
Yeah, things are moving rather quickly, and we know there's struggles. We don't want to be the guys to break that, so get it together. All right, let's talk about some LAFC 2 news. Araceli, what is happening on the world of LAFC 2?
Well, there's actually some good news with this. LAFC 2 took home 2 points after winning the shootout 7-6 in Sandy, Utah. However, an unfortunate own goal from Carlos Diaz did put the Real Monarchs in front early in the 7th minute. but thankfully Matt Evans equalized in the 43rd minute with a banger, forcing the game to the shootout, which I mentioned they did win, so at least they have 2 points. Up next, the boys will stay on the road as they head north to face the Town this Sunday at 5 o'clock. The match will be streamed on Apple TV.
There we go. Again, we need these results. It's good news for the boys. The Town. That name still throws me every time I see it. But hey, we know who they really are. Let's just take those guys out. That's for sure. So Sunday, Apple TV. Don't miss it. Unless you're at the stadium, and you're probably going to miss it. But yeah, bring it. All right, we've got some community news too from Tony, but I think he's stepping out for the moment. Basically, I'll just throw it out there. Buy your memberships. Memberships are still for sale for the 3252. Do not fall short on this, guys. You will run out of time. It will happen. They will sell out. That's how it works. Here comes Tony. Anything else you want to add, sir, for community, sir? I did bring up the memberships.
Just sorry for that thing. There's just my landlord and everything, but there is one thing. There is going to be a fan fest. It's going to take up most of Christmas Tree Lane. So if you are planning to tailgate and for 3052, it's going to be a very small little gathering, but they will have like a little soccer field for little kids to play in because I believe it's Kids Day. So let's just have some fun. And yeah, Children's Day. I was like, I always call it Kids Day. I rather call it kids, children, me. But yeah, Kids Day. So they'll have a little soccer field. So if you have the youngins to bring out, this is a perfect time. We can play soccer with actual goals instead of the makeshifts that we usually make in the middle of the thing. So yeah, that's about it.
There we go. Yes, FanFest should be fun for the kids. Tony's right. There's going to be a lot of kid-related stuff at the stadium too. Kids doing specific tasks and shadowing people. So, yeah, good stuff, guys. Should be fun. And it's a Sunday day game, so even better. Now, Vinyl Club Minute, everybody. Do we have a nominee? I know AC/DC was in town this past week, so that's always an option. Bam, what are you thinking, man?
Over the last week, I've been listening to a lot of Infected Mushroom. So they are a psytrance group, been around since '96. So listened to a lot of them this week. And the one song that I've been listening to a lot, I think represents all of us when we're watching football. It's called Becoming Insane from their 2007 album, Vicious Delicious.
Nice, dude. Good call, man. I like it. The Misfits were also eventful this weekend. Could have thrown that out there too.
Well, they did play the same
love,
festival as the Misfits on the weekend, so
yeah. Going a half hour past their time just because they felt like it. Classic stuff, guys. Well done. So there you go. You got a little bit of music love there, guys, for the Black and Gold Final Club Minute. All right, let's talk about St. Louis. Saints all over the place. St. Louis City SC, weird name, will be coming to town. 4 o'clock kickoff, as I said earlier. Their year hasn't been going so great. The 2, 3, and 4 so far with 9 points. Again, we've got 13, so they're a little bit behind us. Again, lots of changes within that side. But man, the last 5 games have not been even, I can't even sugarcoat it. They've been ugly. It's been rough. They're winless in their last 5. Yes, they got a draw against the Whitecaps. Good on them, because y'all know what Whitecaps are running away with things right now. But otherwise, they lost to Columbus at home, Sporting Kansas City on the road 2-0. Lost to Austin at home, then lost to Philly, of course, on the road. So not a lot of goals given up, but not a lot scored as well. We know that feeling, that's for sure. But yeah, winless in their last 5. I think, Araceli, I'm going to go to you on this. You did see them against Kansas City. Thoughts on St. Louis so far this year?
They just don't seem to be the same dynamic team as they were last season, but that's my own personal opinion on it, because they did fall short on making connections. But I mean, like any other club that we've always said, looking at their record, you can never underestimate them because you never know.
Yeah, it's not like they were playing pushover teams either, right? I mean, you look at the names, right? Vancouver, first place. Columbus. Well, y'all know Columbus. Sporting Kansas City. This is post Vermees? No, this is like.
Yeah, this was post for me. It was the very
Okay.
first game with Savannah again.
So they get the push from that. Austin, you've seen what Austin's been doing. They're fine this year. And then there's Philly. So they've kind of had a decent schedule, and now they got to come to us. Good news for them. As the season goes along, the schedule could be a little bit lighter for them. So yeah, there is that. Now, looking at lineups, comparing from the last few games, I think there's some certainties here. Klaus, if he's healthy, will be their target man. They played a 3-4-3 the last game, a 3-4-2-1 the game before that, which is kind of a 3-4-3. Drop a few back, whatevs. But Klaus was the man. He was the target. Outside of that, I think it's Pampo and Touche. I think it's Touche. They're going to be the wings, or they're going to be withdrawn strikers. Yeah, that's how it plays. Midfield, they had Hartl, former St. Pauli, and Morales holding down the midfield. Watts and Wallum outside. Sometimes a bear comes in. Yep. And then back three, they go with the three center back setup. So it'll be Kessler, Baumgartel, and Yaro. I think that's who's going to be there if they're healthy and ready to go. And then Lund in goal. So that's what it's looking like. Not a lot of changes. They seem to know what they want to do. It's just execution at this stage. Bam, looking at their record, I know it hasn't been the greatest, but there's still something there, right?
Oh, there is. Like having a 0-0 draw at home against the Whitecaps, who earlier tonight walked away with a 2-0 win against Miami at home. Looking at that, you can't disregard that game. So I'm looking more at that game to see what they'll be coming up against us like.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a battle. We know that. They're desperate for the results at this stage. And, I look at the names. I know who these guys are. I know some of their histories. They aren't pushovers. That's for sure. There's some grinders in this lineup. Some tough dudes. It could get chippy. I expect it to. Could be very physical for our center backs. Yeah, it's on. Again, we're dealing with a team that's a little bit desperate here. They need to get a result. They haven't got the ones they need, and they can build off of getting one off of Vancouver, who, as Bam said, they're looking right in all the right places right now. So could be fun. Tony,
100%.
how are you feeling about this weekend? Yes, sir.
Like you look at it too, is they kept Brian White to one chance created last game.
Yeah.
He had one shot for the whole game. When was the last time you heard Brian White having one shot for the game?
Right. Well, that is one thing they do have is defense. They haven't allowed more than 2 goals in any of their games. That is real. They've got again, they're low scoring games. So yeah, it won't be easy. That's for sure. We've got a deal, and it's a team that again plays with that 3 center backs, which means their outside mids are basically going to play wing back when necessary and drop low, so they'll go 5 deep when they need to. So if you give up a cheap one early, which we tend to do a lot now, we could get ourselves into trouble for sure. Tony, your thoughts on our boys and what they're going to have to do for this game to get a result? Are we going to see some changes to the lineup, or what we saw against Portland kind of going to be the vibe?
I think what we saw at Portland's kind of going to be the vibe. Like I said, now we have rest moving forward through weeks and weeks. We don't have any other tournaments to play until Leagues Cup comes up. So it's just trying to iron out all the. I'll say like we're going into a regular game that we don't know the news of Dolo or anything. We're trying to iron out all the mistakes, get the game plan ready, and get all the engines running. Now, will that be 100% true? I don't know because of, again, the news with Dolo out. Who knows what players are actually going to try to play the system, and maybe they lost it. Maybe they've lost, confidence in the head coach, or who knows.
Yeah, and some will just be business as usual. So we don't know. Also, the midfield situation, having 2 new faces. Do I expect them to play in this game? Probably not. But you actually have sub options later in the game, and so that could help. And then there's always Odin Holm. He's due for minutes. So there could be changes from that too. Your thoughts, Bam, on the midfield situation. Who do you think features? Is it going to be our classic three?
I think it's going to be the classic three for this game. As much as I like to see some changes, I don't see much changes happening. Midfield will stay the same three.
And then your top three, I'll go to Araceli. Who's going up top for this? Is it the Bouanga, Giroud, or Daz story again?
I would say so, just for the simple fact that I feel like I'm still kind of playing catch up, so I'm not really sure the type of roster we've been using for like the last 3 matches.
Yeah, it's been your typicals, right? Sometimes Martinez gets into the lineup, sometimes he doesn't. Ibose, I guess, can feature. He's eligible to feature. He might feature. Under is there as a super sub if need be. Not getting in the starting lineup a whole lot, except against in Champions League. So he's also there too. Like I said, Ordaz got it last time. Tony, your thoughts on the front line? Does Under get into this lineup? Does Ordaz stay up top? What do we do?
I think Ordaz stays up top. Maybe again you do the switch with Martinez, but I think it's just gonna be Ordaz. Under is still just coming off the bench. It seems like that's what our game plan with him, which is again kind of odd because of the DP spot as a loan that we have with him. So, but that is just the usual like Ordaz. Again, he works well with everybody and is the true quickest number 9. Again, Giroud is there and he can run, but it seems like he doesn't have the pace that Ordaz has, and that's saying something when Ordaz is not too fast.
And of course, be mindful that Under's time with us, his end is quickly approaching unless a deal occurs, right? He is a short-term loan. So if he doesn't play, we kind of read the tea leaves here. He needs minutes if he's going to try to make a deal here. So that also affects things. And again, it ends soon. It does. Bam, your top line, you're keeping it the same, Ordaz, Giroud, Bouanga?
I'm going to bench Giroud. He's played the last 2 games quite a lot of minutes. So I think going to go, despite his age and all that, I think he's going to be on the bench. So I'm going to say it's going to be Ordaz, Bouanga, Martinez starting.
I think speed can burn this team that we're playing, right? I think that's where you can catch them, so that might be a good move. We shall see. Backline, though, I think if this are the healthy guys, this is who we're going to get, right? Long, Marlon, Palencia, Hollingshead. I wouldn't change it. If that works, it works. Like, why mess with that? Bam, are you in agreement with that?
I am. Hopefully, Chanot will be back on the bench and might get a couple of minutes, but for the way they played last game and the way that they're starting to gel, I think you got to keep the back four as the same.
We need the resilience, and they did show the last game. So there we go. All right, so we've got our lineups. We know what we need to do with these guys. Lloris, of course, he's going to start, but I mean, questions must be asked, right, gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, and Araceli, I know you've seen the gaffes so far. Who wants to jump on the Lloris situation? Are we going to get a vintage one, or are we going to have the gaff-prone veteran? What are we thinking here, guys? Who wants to jump on this one?
I think
the big question is, who would you have replace him?
Ochoa.
Well, I mean, Ochoa hasn't gotten a minute yet. You got to wonder.
Are you willing to risk Ochoa against St. Louis?
No. Not me.
Nobody's making a move, right?
Like at the moment, looking at the table itself. So not looking at who we're playing, all that kind of stuff. Looking at the table themselves, there is 3 teams, or 1, 2, maybe 3 teams I would risk changing the keeper for. That would be Toronto, Montreal, and just because they're in dead last down the road.
The Galaxy versus Ochoa. I mean, I gotta be real. If you've ever seen Ochoa play in MLS, I'm talking when he was like doing really well in MLS. there's some tactics he likes to use that drive teams up a wall, right? We haven't seen it because we haven't seen him play at the top flight for us yet. But those of us with experience with Ochoa, when he's actually playing on his level, the time wasting tactics, that kind of the give you a ball, take the ball, like, yeah, he can get under a team's skin real quick. This might not be the game for that, but yeah, I could see that down the line just for fun. We get to see him get some minutes. But yeah, I'm with you guys on this one. I think Lloris stays. Also, Dolo, historically, when you have a gaff and a goalkeeper does something like this, he kind of lets him ride it out, work it through. So I think that's where we're at. That's where it's gonna be. All right. What are we gonna need to see for a result? I'll go to Araceli first. What do the boys have to do to get a result against St. Louis?
I mean, really, just don't make any silly mistakes. I know that's very vague, but when it comes to St. Louis, just stay. They could either stay on the defense or on the attacking end, but I would look out for the counters. It also depends on the type of roster they put out.
Yeah, I haven't heard any major injuries with the current lineup, so I think we can kind of expect it. Klaus is your target, and you know you're going to get hit from the wings. So, yeah, be smart. Bam. What do we have to do here?
Shut them down. Defense has to be on its game. Make short, sharp passes. If you think you can have a crack from outside the 18, have a crack from outside the 18. You never know what's going to happen. It's getting a bit warmer in LA. The weather's getting better. So hopefully use that to our advantage and make them run. We can outrun them.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Work them. We can outrun them. Keep changing the front three around. So this play, Martinez is running at you. Then it's Bouanga. Then it's Martinez. Then it's Ordaz. Then it's Bouanga. Keep rotating, going up there. I think that will be our best way to get through these guys.
There it is. Tony, final thoughts on this match?
Just keep the momentum going and try to win everything we can. That's the whole thing. Is like it's either League Cup or MLS Cup at the moment, so we'll figure out which one it is.
Got to get something done. All right. Comments have been made. I see about 15 comments or so from the faithful. Let's go have fun with this thing here. Ooh, we've got some familiar faces in the mix. We've got Mr. Ariano, Jason Ariano says, we'll definitely take a draw in Portland, especially coming back 3 times. Oh, what's up, guy? No work tomorrow, so I'm awake now. Good seeing you on here, man. Saw you brought the little one to the game last week. Good on you, sir. Fun times, that's for sure. Junior jumping on. He says, any news on Vela's standing with the club? Zero zilch. I do know if you follow social media, especially his wife's social media, he's enjoying the beach, lovely dinners, anniversary, anything but football. That's what I've noticed. It's pretty much retirement Vela. That's what I can see from his pictures. He's happy and he's away from us. I'd read that. Yeah, Junior, we were all confused with the signed on payroll. Kind of odd. Yeah, talking about Raposo, right? Maybe he had an MLS contract, but was passed along by Vancouver. It's strange. Soccer USA always coming with the crazy questions, cool questions, and fosters conversation. Here we go. He says, hey, guys, sorry I've been gone. Good to see the podcast still going strong. Hopefully all doing well. We're doing our best, sir. That's for sure. Living our best lives and traveling across the world like Bam did and surviving after that. He says, in regards to Dolo, I appreciate him letting us know early so we can attract a good amount of quality coaches, expect a top tier selection. The players respect him and will give their all. I think, yeah, having this, it's the win-win for the coach kind of vibe that I think they're hoping for. We'll see. He says also at this point of the season, who's your best CB pairing for us? What's the deal with Chanot? So if you saw the match against San Jose, Chanot came off looking kind of groggy, almost like he had a head injury. It didn't look so great. He put in the battle, but you could tell he was really, really ticked about coming out because he had finally got back in, only to run into a situation where he was not well enough to continue. I think with him, that is the story so far. Is he just hasn't been healthy enough to get a consistent amount of minutes with the top side. Hopefully, we'll see him back very soon here, and it won't be too long. But yeah, I mean, we saw he battled well. It's just, man, bad luck is what it is for him right now. I think if Chanot's not available, then Long and Marlon are the story. We all know where Segura's at. I think we all have a shared opinion on where Segura's at right now. We've seen the best of him already. And so, yeah, at this stage, if Marlon and Long can be stable, I'm not talking about the Miami match because that was an aberration, we'll be okay. And then Chanot, of course, the stability of him once he gets healthy. Now, over and under how many goals Giroud ends with this season. I'm not sure how many he'll have, but I guarantee you Hollingshead will have more. There I go again. Fanboying for Hollingshead. Anybody else want to take a stab at that? If you're going to give me numbers, I'm going to say 4 for the year, but that's being super nice. It's probably going to be 3. That's my head. Jason Ariano says Vinyl Club make Heart of LAFC punk again. I'll tell you this. I was actually listening to Offspring like smash this week. I don't know why, man. Like most of their albums after that dropped hard, but that one stood out. So I was listening to that for fun. And of course, the original Misfits at Coachella this weekend were rather entertaining. I know I alerted Bam to check that one out. Give them credit because it was pretty entertaining. It was nice to see all those black shirts out in the crowd at Coachella rather than the stuff we normally see. Yeah, that was kind of cool. I'll give them that.
I dare to
there's
say,
your punk, sir. Yes.
Just going with that, Green Day at Coachella were amazing again. I watched them both weekends, and both weekends put on amazing shows. Just disappointed that the second weekend they didn't start another fire on a palm tree, but you know.
You mean no random rockets flying through the crowd this time around? Lord.
No, not second week.
No,
hey, you know,
we have as much.
Yeah,
and predictable is not punk. So, yeah, Soccer USA is asking: is Green Day considered punk?
The early stuff would be.
Yeah, Dookie definitely is. Right? I mean, that's real.
Like I'll look at it. A lot of bands, like obviously you said Offspring, Green Day. One of my favorite DJs, Tiesto. They did the grind to begin with their punk, with the underground and all that kind of stuff. And then when they got big, yes, they went a bit more poppy, but they deserve to be able to do that because they did the hard works earlier on.
In the 90s, kid to me is like throwing the sellout out there, but that's those 90s, man. Yeah, I will say this, dude. Yes, there's a lot of punk within those bands, but they did branch out. You got to remember that the poppy punk kind of took over after that, and it shifted for everybody. If they want to remain in business, then you got to get with it, you know. Do we all love that? Not necessarily, but you got to say Green Day and their catalog has been pretty damn impressive. So, yeah, whether you like it or not, yes, they're punk. That's their roots. Did they do some poppy kind of stuff and alternative later on? Yeah. You know, you grow in life. But yeah, enjoy the old stuff if you really want the punk vibe. That's for sure. And then Jason C, he's back in this. He says, yeah, I have major roots in the old Bay Area punk scene. Used to it Gilman Street. There's a documentary about the Bay Area punk scene, and Green Day is in it. Yeah, exactly. All love for those guys, honestly. Yeah, Jason Ariano was bringing up Kerplunk, right? Dookie was the big breakout, but go earlier than that for sure. Let's see. We've got Soccer USA is asking about Tillman's. It's nice when Tillman has a solid game, but can he do it consistently? Also, how long do we have Holm? I think the issue with Tillman, and I'll say this week in and week out, if he's alone out there, he struggles. He's not the guy that's going to lead it. He needs others around him. He always has. That's just the way he plays. He needs to have people to kick the ball off to and reliably kick the ball to. And if he doesn't get that in games, then we see what happens, right? He's not a natural playmaker. That's not what he's been. And when you require that, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. And Soccer says, I'm surprised we didn't try to get a backup keeper before the trade deadline. I'm not. I mean, we have two guys. I mean, I felt bad for one of them so far because he did get one rough start. Both of them have the capabilities. Both of them have the potential. I don't think it's a weak point for this team. They're projects, yes, but I don't think it's a weak point at this stage. Starter needs to do better, but the backups can handle if they need to handle. Let's see. What else have we got? He says, I'd love to see Dolo go back to pressing, allowing direct football to create more chances like his first season, where teams out bring super subs like before. I think the reason you don't see that is we don't have the players to do it right now. Full stop. We don't. We're not built for that right at this moment. We need more. We need more. Dave says we need to protect their house and steal on the road. Yep. Olivier Giroud, I love when we do these fun accounts, says, I will score again, my guys. I hope so. I pray so. We hope for nothing but success for Olivier Giroud. It's not a hate club here. We just haven't seen it yet, man. That's all. Giroud needs to take all the free kicks. From that angle, okay, we'll have fun with that. It's not a surprise anymore, but go for it. Have fun with it. And Dave's like, I agree, Soccer USA. Yeah, dead balls have never been our specialty. We know this. Make it our specialty. It helps. All right, there we go. Comments from the faithful. Guys, proper ones tonight. Good stuff. They came in clutch late, just like the team did last week. Good on you guys. Well done. All right. On that note, you know what we do next? We close this bad boy out, give our final thoughts, and we'll see y'all on Sunday for the game. That's how it plays. So, who gets the first final thoughts? Well, the busiest one in the room, of course. That would be Araceli. Go for it. We'll go by time zone. You win.
Considering it's already 1 a.m. over here, and to say that I'm busy is a very understatement. But final thoughts for me, very simple. Like any other home game, please don't be stupid. Always have a plan B, whether that's a friend, a family member, Uber, and of course, have fun. I know for myself, I will not be able to watch the game because we have a full slate on the Next Pro side of things with 8 matches that day. So pray for me. But otherwise, definitely enjoy the weekend and hopefully we get that win.
There we go. Now, if I was really going by time zone, Bam would actually be the first one since he's in the future and in tomorrow. So we'll go to you next then, Bam. From the future, your thoughts, sir.
My thoughts are I hate Sunday games because it means it's Monday for me and the game's on while I'm at work, so I won't be able to watch it live. Should be able to listen to it though, so that should be good. For those going to the game, be safe. You know what to do. Don't be an idiot. There are other ways to get to the ground. You know, we all got the emails about a free metro for the games and all that. So yes, there's a debacle out there, but there now is a way for you to get to games without having to drive. So if you are going to have a few drinks, some smokes and all that kind of stuff, just think about it. Be good. Be smart. Again, as I say every episode, mental health matters. If you are in need of mental health, you can call the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health on 800-854-7771 or 988. There are people out there that can help you a lot better than we can. Reach out. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. Conversations can save and change a life.
Well said, Bam. Again, the man is on call. He's sticking out for us guys. All love, man. All love, sir. All right, then there's Tony, Mr. Pacific Time. How are you doing, man? What's your final thoughts? You ready for this weekend?
Ready for this weekend. Just put it all out there for everybody in the team to show the support as much as we can, even though we disagree with certain substitutions, type of play and stuff like that. Just keep supporting the boys and doing the best we can. And also, you know, have fun, be safe, and see you guys Sunday.
There it is. You know who's going to be in the north end, and you know who's going to be in the compost stand. It's how it's done. You know where to find him. That's for sure. Of course, my final thoughts again, this is a day game, everybody. A 4 o'clock kickoff. It is Children's Day. Be mindful of that, please. It's a day for the kids. Their activations are for the kids. All right. No hijacking the activations. Let them have a good time. I know that field's going to be a lot of fun with the kids. I know my kids are up for it for sure. It should be an interesting vibe. That's for sure. We haven't really had a Children's Day the way we're going to this time around. So, hey, new look. Have fun with it. Tailgate is smaller. Be careful. That's all. Have a good time out there. And, of course, we need the full measure of the 32-52 and all of you guys to help us get that win at home and get more momentum and build up as the summer quickly approaches. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye to y'all. Final word, Araceli.
Stay golden.
Bam.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.